This is Jeff Hall, the president of Go Educate Inc. I'm with my colleagues, David McPhee from Bahamas Scouting Report, founder of Bahamas Scouting Report. We have Clyde Forbes, founder of Hopeville Boys Center Inc. in Atlanta, Georgia. And then we got my younger brother, Josh Hall, vice president of Go Educate Inc. And we're here to just, we're just going to chop it up a little bit and talk about the upcoming NBA, the resuming of the NBA season. As we know, the NBA bubble is up. We haven't had sports really for a while. So this is something interesting. I think just from the entire setup, I think there's a lot of anticipation on how this will look in addition to seeing our favorite basketball players play again. So I just want to open this floor where we can get a discussion going on what we'll see. I'll open it up to anybody. How do y'all feel about this upcoming NBA bubble?
Go ahead.
Well,
Whoever.
This my thing is, this COVID thing has had everybody settled down, locked in. All I'm doing is watching Netflix, can't go anywhere. I was excited to see that the NBA actually is one of the first, I think the NBA is one of the first sports, first organizations coming out as far as trying to play something. And I like the whole bubble aspect of it, where now they got these players. If you quarantine, you tested negative. Now let's go play some ball. I was watching some video yesterday. And the guys that were working on Aiden was down there working out. LeBron was down there working out. And to me, it's exciting just to see these guys. Just to come out and play, resume the season. And like I was following, I was talking to a buddy of mine with Zion. Zion just picked up and left and say they got some family issue, and everybody was excited but him because it's supposed to be in his time for him and the Pelicans do their thing. And so I'm just excited to see what's going to happen. I don't know if they cancel the dates or they push the dates back as yet, but everybody looking for Zion to come over there and do his thing. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm going to see how this whole thing will work out.
Yeah, Clyde, I agree with you, Clyde. I think one thing that's significant, we saw like with the NBA, they were like the first organization to shut it down because of COVID. So I sort of view this as they're leading the forefront of how to, sort of have some type of protocol for dealing with COVID. So, beyond the game, I think it's also an opportunity for the NBA to pretty much further establish itself as like a program that or an organization, a league that can lead the front in matters like this. So this even from a social justice standpoint, the NBA has always taken the initiative and sort of been like a model for other organizations. And then we're seeing with a global pandemic what they're doing as well. So I agree with you, Clyde. But I'm looking forward to it to see, how these athletes, what these athletes do. I'll be honest, any other environment, I'll probably have my science in regards to who I think will win and who will bring home the title. But with the bubble, I think everything up for grabs. And I'm going to shock you all with who my projection is going to be to win, to play in the championship and to win. But I'm with Clyde on this. But Josh, David, what do you all think?
Josh, yeah, Jessica.
Yeah, for me, I have mixed feelings about doing restarting the season just because the COVID, social justice, and everything that's going on. Mainly because like we're throwing these athletes out there and so much unknown when it comes behind COVID and the long-term effects. So we're just throwing them out there like, okay, go out there, play. If you catch it, you'll heal in 2 weeks and you go out there. So we're looking at them like they're more than human because they're in such great shape, but still, they're prone to different things. But at the same time, I'm a big NBA fan. So, I'm excited to see them play as well. But I don't know, like, I remember hearing Austin Rivers speak earlier this week, and he said he believed the Rockets are the 3 or 4 teams that could truthfully compete for the championship. I disagree with that for the fact that I would say it's 10 teams that actually have a strong shot of winning the championship. Like, if like my brother was saying, if it was any other, then yeah, well, I didn't see them having that big of a chance to win the championship before the season started. But because the bubble started and with everything that's going into, some players not going to play. You talked about doing a 3-4 month layoff. So some players are going to come out of shape, come in better shape. You're not going to have the stress of the crowd, and some people are going to shine under that. I give the Rockets a chance, but I give other teams a chance as well now. I'm just shaking your head. No, so I give Denver a chance. You know, I would give the Heat a chance. I give a lot of teams a chance just because of the situation there. And I don't think it's going to be as easy and clear cut as people think it's going to. That is going to be beginning of the season. Like LeBron is going to the title. Like, let's not speak on the Clippers. Just don't speak on the Clippers. And a dark horse, I feel, you know, if the Blazers are able to make it and they're truthfully healthy, that's not a good matchup for the Lakers, in my opinion. Number 1 seed. That's just not a good matchup. Now, I'm not going to say the Blazers are going to win the championship, but I don't think that's a good matchup for LeBron.
If healthy, they do. I think that Joseph Nurkic guy or whatever his name is pretty good. Yeah. They had another center or two that was injured, so I agree with you on all that. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Now, me, Jeff,
they still got Whiteside.
Yeah, me, Jeff, personally, guys, I just want to say, been watching the game from like 97, 96, and I am a huge and very biased Spurs fan. So when it comes to this whole thing starting again, I'm not sure the total rules of the bubble, which one you can explain to me, but I was a little frightened that, you know, this would be the first time from 99 we didn't make the playoffs. So I was a little worried, and I was sort of happy that COVID happened. I'm sorry. But it's a lot risking on it. You know what it is to make the playoffs from 1999 to 2020. You know, we were risking it all. So I was sort of happy that, you know, because of the Spurs situation, we started a rough, hard. I don't know. I'm ready to trade DeMar DeRozan for a bag of coffee. Yeah, but so I'm hoping the season to start. And in regards to, you know, basketball being one of the first to restart, the Premier League, English Premier League, they started back like 3 weeks ago. They had like one of the first game manual against Southampton. So a lot of organizations are now picking up. They're playing with the stadium empty. So it gave me a little feel of what the NBA is going to look like, which was not bad. They had the seats look like persons. They had a design looking like people were there, but it wasn't much of a big difference viewing it. You know, it was different, but it wasn't bad. But for the NBA season, as far as it continuing, I'm sorry, I don't want to hurt you guys' feeling. I'm hoping it doesn't, so we could get the start fresh and throw 2020 at the door, and we can continue making the playoffs every year.
We need some basketball, David.
Retire. All right, that's me.
David.
Bring back college, but not NBA. You know, I can't. It would hurt me to know that Greg Popovich make playoffs.
Hey,
it'll hurt my heart.
He got 5 rings.
So that's where I'm at.
He got to be all right.
He got 5 rings, David. But I understand where you're coming from. But yeah, you're right. I apologize for that. The Premier League they did start back earlier, and I remember they also had like simulations in regards to the crowd noise.
Yep.
Their stadium as well.
Yep.
So I don't know if the NBA is going to try to incorporate that as well.
Yep.
We'll see. It was sort of weird, but you know, if they didn't show the stands, you know, it's like they had that simulation, so it sort of played there, you know. But as far as
yeah, man, it's just not gonna happen with the Spurs. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, the Spurs is a wrap.
Like we all accept our teams losing over the years. You just have to accept that your team may have its first losing season. It's okay. It has several other winning. Yeah, it had to happen. I don't know.
Listen to me. I got this shirt on, right? Listen to me. We ain't going nowhere. This is the first time I've ever done this. I've watched some workout tapes. Those guys in Orlando, and I'm telling you what, I'm impressed with. I'm impressed with the Lakers. Like with Dwight Howard. Like Dwight Howard, I've never seen Dwight Howard play like this before because who they surrounded themselves with. Like I saw him. Like this workout was crazy, and so now you wrapping up with LeBron, and it's gonna be crazy.
AD
I'm
and
going.
LeBron. Yeah.
You see,
I'm
I'm
going with
the
Lakers.
complete opposite.
Yeah.
I'm the complete opposite for the fact, like, we act like Dwight Howard wasn't like a top 3 player in the league for 8 years straight.
Yeah.
Like when he was in Orlando, he was that guy. And then people were like, this is the best he's playing of his career. He's averaging 7 points and 7
He's
rebounds.
with LeBron now.
Like, yeah, he is a
We're
Hall
gonna
of
forget
Famer. Like,
he's with LeBron now, so he's
2009,
great.
right? We're gonna forget he beat LeBron
Yeah,
in 2009.
yeah, well,
I got a
3-time
question for you
Defensive Player
guys,
of
so
the
it never
Year.
got.
That's it. I wish
So
I
it's like,
No, I agree with Josh.
I want to ask some. So Josh, what do you think about like everyone that plays? I know I'm going to take it away from it a little bit, but everyone that plays with LeBron, like it's like people will be like it's brownie points for them. If you look at person's career before playing with them, they were the man. And it's like, oh, LeBron makes everybody better. But if you look at the numbers before these guys came here, I mean, like, this guy was a star. He was a star. He was a star. And now they're like 10 points, maybe 8, maybe 12. Like, nobody except Kyrie hold their own. No one. Like, you could check it out. No one besides Kyrie. All of them, a lot of them were stars, but no one besides Kyrie was consistent with him there. Maybe AD now, but it's not finished yet, but no one else.
I go back at Dwayne when he was in Miami with D Wade. Like D Wade was
dropped too.
D Wade stats dropped when LeBron came in. So it's like he had to take a dual role. He had to like drop back to give LeBron the spotlight. I think that's just the business part. That's the business part of the NBA. We can't have 2 stars shining inside the same place.
Yeah, we did it for years. We had 3.
You look at LeBron, and you look at LeBron, like, he is the NBA as far as the money that was invested into him. Because let's be real, you know, we talk about everybody who played with us. He only had 3 rings. There's a lot of people who got rings while he was in the league. So I don't see the purpose of me praising LeBron because, you know, somebody like Dwight Howard came to play with him. Okay, you had Derrick Rose, Kevin Love, all these players, Wade, that played with you on the Cavs, and that team didn't do well. Like, he's known to get veteran players, but I don't think somebody should get brownie points for playing with LeBron. And usually, if you look at the stats, once he leaves, it is better as well. Like, they're never become better once he leaves the team. The issue you would see a lot of times with LeBron is when he's comes to your team, he is the team. Therefore, if he leaves the team is just going to be completely devastated. Like, you know, they would say the same. I think they always talking about when Jordan left the Bulls his first time, where they won 60 games or so.
They did good.
First year.
They did good.
They won. Was it 50? They didn't win 60. That would have been too good.
They had a good record.
Yeah.
And they used that argument versus LeBron, but no, you have to look at, like, well, if LeBron left the Cavs, why the Cavs were so bad? Well, all the money was poured into the Cavs and locked up into LeBron athletes as well. Like, he told them to sign these players. Therefore,
and we also got to keep in mind, to cut you off, but we got to keep in mind, too, that when he leaves, he's not the only person that leaves. You know, Kyrie left.
Yeah.
Then he left. You know, I'm pretty sure Kyrie could have led them to the playoffs if he didn't leave. When he left the Heat, people forget, you know, Chris Bosh had blood clots. You know, unfortunately, that's when they found out.
Yeah, Wade was battling injuries.
Yeah, Wade got injured.
Rashad Lewis, Ray Allen.
Yeah, you know, they were all, but the star players were hurt. But the following year, the Heat went 7 games. They accomplished what the Bulls did. They went 7 games in the second round, and before, you know, losing to Toronto, so they could have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals if they were healthy. You know, as far as his first, Cleveland, it was him and it was a bunch of role players, but the top role players left. Shaq was old, but he was still giving you like 11 and 7. Big Z was there. That was like another probably like 13 points. And all those guys left. You losing like 25 points and 15 rebounds a game. That's a big difference right there. And you losing two guys that's over 7 feet tall. So he's not the only one that leaves, and as Joshua stated, when the offense is geared around him. I mean, of course, you're gonna lose. You don't have nobody to replicate what he's doing. But I mean, he's a great player. I mean, he's a great player. I personally, I don't think he's, and I don't want to drift off into another debate. I don't think he's the greatest all time. In my opinion, I'm not. Yeah, he's a great player. He's in my top 5.
Top 10. Top 10 for me. All right.
He's in my top 5. He's amongst the top.
Oh, I got him 4.
Yeah,
I got him 4.
Yeah,
4
I got him 3. I guess Kobe.
Clyde, what you got about?
He my top 10.
In my top 10.
I watched the guy develop over the years. Like, he's phenomenal when he know how to. He's a finisher, man. Like, the guy has a tenacity. Like he has a drive to go there and do what he got to do. I mean, he's proven it. He's in Cleveland. I mean, hey, nothing happened in Cleveland. He gone to Miami. He showed Miami something, then he gone. You know what I'm saying? So he just how to galvanize players and build them up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He make them excited to play with him, and that's all the psyche is about it. Like, he get them like Dwight Howard was a beast when Dwight Howard was Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
If you watch him, like, his work ethic now, like, he stepped up. Like, this is close he might even get to a ring. Like, I'm just saying.
He did, man. They get paid when they play LeBron. Yeah, he made the finals. But LeBron gets players paid, though, so that's another thing you can say. That's one great thing you can say.
I love that about LeBron. Yeah, if he brings me to this team, I'm going to get a big contract. And I love that about LeBron. Like, you will rarely see him ever bring a player to a team and that player is out the league. Like, if he brings, the only person I want to say is Deron Williams, but he just played bad. So he did that to himself. But if he brings somebody to the team, he's taking care of that player. So I'm all for that. Like, J.R. Smith got him paid. Tristan Thompson got him paid. Kevin Love got him paid. Like, these players, he's going to get them paid. Now, that's the GM fault if you're going to overpay players when they leave. But that's the thing is, because which makes sense. If I'm a GM and I have LeBron James, of course, he's clearly the foundation of my team, and he walks away from my team. Am I going to continue to try to play and sign another person who's clearly not him? Or am I going to just go into the rebuild process? So you're just going to go into the rebuild process. But then that just makes the most sense. Like, there's no reason for me to compete. And he's a once-in-a-generational type player, and we clearly see that because you just can't replace him any type of way. So that's my whole thing from it. But I don't have him winning the championship this year. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Josh, are you serious, Josh?
Yeah, I'm with Josh as well.
I'm positive.
I'll make sure you get a ticket to the game, Josh.
I'm with Josh as well.
I'm not stepping foot in that bubble. But my whole thing is, like, don't sleep on the other players. I didn't understand the argument this year is who was the MVP, LeBron or Giannis. It's clearly Giannis, in my opinion. Like, yeah, like, don't. But they was trying to say LeBron, but when Giannis played the Lakers earlier this year, he beat them. The second time he lost, but it was just Giannis. The Lakers had, 2 of the top 5 players playing for them this year with Anthony Davis on the team. And LeBron, like, you have, it's a good chance Anthony Davis is going to be first team All-NBA or second team All-NBA. Chris Middleton made the All-Star team. I don't see him making a first, second, or third team All-NBA. But Giannis, he really took it to them. And then I'm not going to just say, like, forget about Kawhi, who this guy just silently, destroys.
I'm PG.
He destroys dynasties everywhere he's been going. So I'm not just
3
on
rings.
that. And then some teams, like my brother said, because of the bubble, the way everything is set up, I could see teams just slipping in there. Look at the way, what was it, the 98-99 season, the strike, and it was the Spurs versus the Knicks. The Knicks was the AC. Sometimes you could just strike at the right moment, and that's how I could see some teams just come together. So you never know. There's going to be injuries. Unfortunately, some people are going to be diagnosed with COVID, who's going to have to sit out. And then my other theory is they may not finish the season at all due to the way Florida is just spiking in those cases. But I don't know. I just don't have the Lakers as my clear-cut winners. I just don't see it right now. To be fair, I didn't have them as my clear-cut winners before the season started.
Conversation again, Josh. We got this conversation again, Josh.
I agree with Josh, though. I mean, before the season started, my thing was, because, Steph, Clay was hurt, KD, Kyrie was hurt. That played a big difference. And then we had PG battling injury. Like, there was a lot of players hurt this year. We could keep going. But I think I still had Kyrie. I had the Clippers, winning. I'm not Kyrie, excuse me, Kawhi. I had the Kawhi win with the Clippers. I mean, Kawhi, last year, we don't talk about that playoff run enough. Like, that was crazy. Yeah, that was a crazy playoff run. That was Jordan and Ski type playoff run, Jordan-esque playoff run. So we you can't sleep on Kawhi. Kawhi comes to play when the playoffs come around. Talk about load management, but when the playoffs come, he's playing every game and he is killing it. But like I stated before, with this bubble, it's so many outside factors, and as Josh stated, we was kids when it happened, but the 98-99 season, we saw the Knicks, the number 8 seed, just upset everybody to make it to the finals. I personally believe if the season wasn't shortened, that Knicks team wouldn't even be an 8 seed. They got rolling late in that season, but I think they were talented enough to be a top 4 in that conference. So it would have been different, maybe a top 3. But I think the bubble sort of provides elements like that. So I'm going, I know it sounds crazy, but I think we're going to see like a Miami Heat versus Portland Trail Blazers finals. That's just
a wow.
I can't bet against Dame Dollar. Like, he's one thing, Dame Dollar, the only person he really doesn't take out. Well, I can't say that because last year was his run, but Dame Dollar, he showed last year that, he could lead a team, and I think with this bubble,
Steph is not there.
If it wasn't the NBA bubble, that would be the case. But I think since the bubble is bringing it's a different environment, different atmosphere. They're bringing in outside.
The only thing with the Blazers is, can they even make it to that AC? Because you have Memphis, and if Memphis plays the Lakers win, probably like in 5 games. But I don't think that's a good series because they're just going to play the Lakers really hard. And it's going to be, they're just going to play them really hard. They're just too young, in my opinion, to win. But then again, you just don't know because some players shrink under that pressure when you look into the crowd and you have like thousands of people watching you. That shot start falling a little bit short. But this time you look into the crowd, it's just practice. Yeah. You're playing a real game, but you're in a practice setting. So who knows? Some players may just let loose. Like,
good practice
Jackson may be finals MVP. Who knows? Something like that.
Now, that's true. But I think, with a young team, we saw, like, with LeBron, he's a smart player. Young players are not going to upset him. We saw that with the Celtics back in 2018. I personally believe if they had Kyrie, they go to the finals. But with a young team, they went 7 games, but you're not going to beat LeBron with 19 and 20-year-olds. You're not going to do that. You need vets to beat them, and that's hard. So I don't.
Yeah, you fast forward 2 years.
Yeah.
And you see that Celtics team, they just had extraordinary rookies and with second-year players, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, they were just really good second-year players. Terry Rozier. But if you're looking for something like that to have a team full of them to beat him, it's not going to happen. It's not going to be. That's just not going to happen. But yeah, like I said, I honestly believe there's 10 teams that has a chance to make it to the finals. You know, I believe Milwaukee has a chance. Toronto, Boston, Miami, LA, both
Nola.
LA teams.
Nola.
The Rockets.
But the Pacers.
Denver.
No, Pacers.
Huh?
Pacers is a good sleeper team.
I don't think I don't.
But
we don't
even
think
Oladipo's
the
not
Oladipo's
playing.
gonna play. And then what is it?
Yeah, I don't think he's playing.
I think they may be battling some injuries and stuff too.
Yeah, the Pacers.
Yeah,
got
right.
injuries.
Hey, that Brogdon guy is mean. But go ahead, Josh. I like
yeah,
Brogdon.
but I don't know if he's playing or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's like if they had the full roster, I'll put them on there. Before the season ended, that would have been a team I think you need to watch out for. But who else? I have Denver, Utah, and I don't really have Dallas in it. I don't know. I just don't think they have enough pieces around them. My brother says he gives them a shot. I don't really give them a shot right now, but I have. If the Blazers make it, I have them having a real shot at winning. Because if you look at that matchup, they have a big team just like the Lakers. You got Whiteside, you got Nurkic, you got Zach Collins, then you got Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, then you have Melo at small forward. So you have a big team to throw bodies at Dwight and Anthony Davis. They clearly don't. They lose the power forward and small forward position battle, but they also win the point guard and shooting guard battle. And you take into account that Avery Bradley's not going to be playing for LA. So he would have been the one sticking Damian Lillard. So yes, the way the game is, there's going to be a lot. And Rondo's injured. So
yeah.
They just have that matchup at certain positions. But we'll see, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree. I can't, Dame, I always like Dame, I mean, it's, his kryptonite, was showed last year was Steph Curry. But but I like him.
You don't like to hear that.
Yeah, that's but I like Dame, man. I think something like that, I think they make that AC. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I don't have a system in place. I don't have a formula. I think they may be like 5 games out of 8. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I believe they're gonna get to that AC. And if they do, I'm not betting against that. He's gonna step up for that. I mean, we know he, after that 2018 playoff series where it was sort of a meltdown on his end, probably his worst playoff performance ever. Because we've seen Dame step up big in the past. But after that 2018 where they lost to the Pelicans, I mean, he really stepped up. And I mean, he showed out against OKC. He took him to the Western Conference Finals, and that wasn't a contest at all. They got swept. But I think this is the perfect time for him to show out. Perfect time to add to his legacy. I mean, like I said, KD, Steph, Clay, they're not in it. So this is open for him.
They're done, yeah.
And then on top of that, we can't ignore Jimmy Buckets. Like, I think he finally on a young team that shares the same mentality he has. It's that grit and grind, like just hungry. And he's going to get those Heat players playing. Like, I like Bam. Bam is a very versatile big man that can pass, rebound, defend, run up and down the court. They got some they have some shooters. Sometimes they're inconsistent, but they got some shooters. But defense wise, like they're gonna be up there to play. And I mean, I know it's like a wild take to some people, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, any other time I wouldn't make this type of prediction. But this is not a normal circumstance. With the Heat, before I told Josh when the season started, I believe they was going to go third. They was going to be like a third seed. I thought Jimmy Butler was that much that he could make a difference like that. But I didn't, I felt it was always like, I felt they have 4 solid teams with Toronto. Even though Kawhi took them to the next level, but before Kawhi, Toronto was the number 1 seed. Kawhi just made them, competitive. But I saw Boston there. Jason Tatum is the truth. That's a young gun up there that's just ready to go. Jaylen Brown, that squad, the entire young Celtics squad, they got something to prove. But being in the bubble as a young team, that may bring about something a little bit different, And then Giannis is ready. I mean, I don't think he liked how he went out last year. So he's ready to go. And then Toronto got stuff to prove too. I know they want to prove that they can still compete. I mean, we all know they're not the same team without Kawhi, but they still want to prove that they can compete. And
they just have a deep team.
Yeah, they have a deep team, and I think Pascal Siakam, he definitely with the next step is going to be interesting to see what he does. But I'm going to ride or die. I mean, my prediction may be dead the first day of playoffs, especially if the Portland don't get in. But I'm still going with like a surprise, Portland versus Miami. It's different. We may see a championship we never seen before.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Miami playing good ball. I don't know if they're gonna make it. There. I don't know. I got to see this. Like you said, with the bubble, it makes a big difference of what's happening and people who could play and who can't play. So it's gonna be unpredictable. It's gonna be very unpredictable as far as what's gonna happen. I'm just excited to see how they're gonna deal with all this. Some people like you got like Buddy. Buddy can't play. I don't know if he's cleared to play yet or not. I don't know. But I'm saying all these guys who tested positive, like, are they able to play? And so a lot of these little younger teams, like I say, like you were saying, with Memphis, may whoop LeBron them. I mean, he may not want them to, but then who he may have to play with.
I don't see that, but
anything can happen. You're right.
Anything is possible. I'm just saying. Anything is possible.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Bubble.
That would shock me. But the bubble. That's all. That's all the season gonna be known as, the bubble.
Yeah, the bubble is it. Especially, I mean, fans will definitely make it known, especially LeBron fans. Fans hoping the Lakers win that title, they're gonna say it's the bubble. But I don't want to take that as hating on LeBron. It's crazy. His career is coming to an end in a couple years. In a few years, a high school kid coming in with crazy hype. And he exceeded it.
He exceeded it. Yeah.
He did great.
I don't care, it's not realistic to think someone's going to win 6 championships. I mean, Jordan did that. Nobody predicted Jordan doing what he did. Nobody predicted Magic doing what he did. But for a kid to come out and they say he's the next one, he did it. I mean, he exceeded it. Those 3 titles, I think he exceeded his expectations,
9 trips to the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, the league pushed him a little too now. He was the baby, he was the face, he was everything. But I'm not discrediting him. He did a great. He did it.
He still had to work really hard.
He had the hype, but a lot of people crumble under the hype. He didn't,
Yeah, a lot of people can't take that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, we know he had crazy, marketing and endorsements, and they was hyping him up, but that's pressure right there, and he did it, and so
it is.
I think that's what defines his legacy. He's not going to catch Jordan, like as far as rings, I don't think he's going to win 6 titles, and I think it's crazy for him to think like that. But his legacy is cemented as a high school kid with crazy hype. He came in and he exceeded it. Kobe Bryant, his legacy. You never saw. I think he was like the first perimeter player out of high school to get drafted in a modern NBA. Like, you've never seen a perimeter player. I think the year before, KG was the first one since Moses Malone. But you never saw that before, for a perimeter shooting guard. And Kobe did it. And it showed that, hey, these perimeter players out of high school, they can hoop, they can do it, And LeBron, a perimeter player, came out and he did his thing. So, I mean, his career is coming to an end. In a few years, maybe 5 years from now. But he had his legacy is cemented. I don't think this title is going to change anything. But let's switch over to our last topic. Like, we're really trying to promote, these young students going to get their grades and becoming eligible and to practice and develop the skills necessary to play on the college level. I want to open up the floor. Like, who do you all think is like the best college hooper you all ever saw? I mean, we saw some great ones. There's been some great players that come through, but the one that caught your eye was like, or it could be the one that you saw in person, or just even going back and looking at some old replays. Who's the best hoopers y'all ever saw on the college level?
Magic.
Dave, you saying Magic? Why is that?
Hands down, Magic. Man, I watched Magic battle with Bird,
But first, like, you got to explain
Great
it,
Hope,
David.
and
I think I'm like a year older.
I'll split.
So you got to say you didn't see Magic live. So you got to explain how you saw that.
All right. Well, what happened was I used to go back and watch not only on YouTube, but my stepdad had a lot of recordings of all the older games. So he still has somewhere in one of his closets, he has like maybe like 100 or 150 games recorded on the tape. So we would watch them together sometimes. And so I was able to watch a lot of the older guys play a lot, like even Cedric Sabalas, a lot of guys, like you'd be surprised, KJ and all those guys from like Phoenix. And then I was able to watch because he used to like certain teams. Even got to watch Magic play because he was like young and he was leading the league in assists. He was just the hype was on him. And so I went and I did my own research in that regards, and I found out, like, you know, coming out of high school, you know, he was a top recruit. Everybody loved him. Playing up against Magic and playing against Indiana State, him being in M State was a big rivalry, and they brought it into the NBA, and like the hype was real about him. The guy was really good. It was Showtime. It was like watching a magician at work. Mm-hmm. And so I started like watching all his series and everything. And then, you know, personally, when I worked at the hotel, I was able to meet him in person, which just solidified everything. And I love the guy. The guy is amazing. I mean, he has the numbers. I think his first year, he was averaging like 17 points. Out of my head, I think like 8 rebounds, 8 assists. His field goal percentage was like, you know, 7.85. And every year he got better. He progressed, you know. So, like, I mean, you know, you go back and watch it on YouTube. I'm not being biased. The guy is sick. He is really, really good. The guy was really good. So, yeah. And I think that was the greatest rivalry in college, and top rivalry, one of the top 5 rivalries in the NBA.
Yeah. I could agree with that. One of my top players I like to watch is who I think is fundamentally sound coming out of college with Allen Iverson.
Allen Iverson, okay.
Yeah, AI, like the stuff I see this kid do, like, it was crazy. Now he had the hype coming out, and I look at the story as far as, you know, where he came from and the stuff that he had to go through to get where he had to go, and to go through all of that. And I don't take anything from Magic and Bird, but I just love AI, man. He was just a solid guard. Like he was just solid. I just like to watch him play.
Mm. Yeah,
that's my dude. That's my dude.
For me, I don't know. Like I remember Melo. I just didn't like sit down and watch every game, but I just remember how dominant he was in school when he was at Syracuse. Like he really was the one that anchored that one and done, you know, because you look at his career at Syracuse, there was really no reason for him to go to college. He just dominated straight through. Yeah. And then also, but one person I really watched straight out of, like, really focused on was Kevin Durant at Texas. I remember my brother, I want to say it was like 5th game into the season, he had called me. He was like, "Hey, have you seen this kid from Texas?" And he's like this 7-foot center that shoots threes and do all this stuff. And then you watch him play, like, this guy's just killing it. And then another person was Blake Griffin, like at Oklahoma, how dominant he was. Like, we saw this guy dunking on people, jumping as high. Like, and the weird thing is all these guys went to the league and had great success. But I want to say, like, I guess the best basketball player I've seen, Maya Moore. Like, she just, you watch somebody in the game just comes to them and they just win. And you look at her, she went to 4 straight Final Fours. Won 2 of those national championships. I want to say she lost like 6-7 games in her career. Like, that's just unheard of. Her and Candace Parker. I remember hearing Candace Parker talking about one time, like, you know, I understand how losing feel. And I was thinking to myself, like, man, you've been winning your entire life. I don't think you really know how that feeling feels, to some people. But yeah, those were just like the top people, Kevin Durant, Blake Griffin, Melo, Maya Moore. When we talking about like the greatest college players I've seen. Oh, and one girl from FIU. It was the first time I ever saw somebody get triple team in the NBA game. I mean, in college basketball. Her name was Jerica Cooley, and she was doing like 29. If she played on any other team, I think we would have heard more about her. But she was just a great player. My brother used to watch her play. Yeah.
Yeah, she could have went to, but she chose. I think she chose. I could be wrong, but I think she chose.
She's getting her PhD or something.
Yeah, that's it. But she could have went to WNBA.
Yeah, she was getting her PhD.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
No, that's it. Now, I'll say, Josh gave us his old starting five for a co-ed squad. Gave us the but I'll say with me, there's probably two players. I used to always, when I was young, I've been a big sports fan. Like all sports. Josh should tell you, I was young watching hockey, football, basketball, baseball. We played baseball. So it was always big. Rugby, watch fencing. I mean, all of that. But basketball, college basketball was pretty weird. I didn't pick up on much college basketball probably until my junior year of college. I mean, I used to watch games. I mean, growing up, one of my favorite players was Elton Brand when he was at UConn. And I believe they went to the 98 finals where they lost. No, not UConn, Duke, Elton Brand for Duke, and they lost to UConn in the 98 finals. But I would say the best basketball player that I saw in college was KD, Kevin Durant. Like Josh gave you a bit snippet of my expression when I first saw him. I mean, the first game I saw, one of the games that stood out when I saw KD is when they played in 2007. It was that spring when they played AC Law in Texas A&M. That game went into like double overtime. And I seen KD hit some clutch shots. And I'm like, man, who's this kid? Because we seen big men, shoot threes before, but they had set shots. But I'm seeing this guy bring the ball down court, pulling up, shooting threes. I'm like, what is this? I never saw this before. Like, I mean, we saw guys, growing up, you see Cliff Robinson, 7 feet, that could shoot. Ben Baker was good. Sean Kemp, it was good. Sean Kemp was like Blake Griffin before Blake Griffin. But I never saw like, and Magic but I never saw a kid like this that, just grab a rebound, bring it down, and just pull up. And he hit some big shots in that game. And AC Law was like, he was like the main player for Texas A&M. He was a star guard. He was drafted by the Hawks, but I think he ended up having most of his success in Europe. But, he was overshadowed by KD that night. And that's when I was like, man, the league is changing. The NBA, they're not ready for this guy. And I think where the relevance about that, too, is because at that time, it was often said that, with the American players, the black players, they would just focus on their athleticism and just dunking. Even though we had, Vince Carter who could shoot and who could jump, T-Mac was dunking on you and he could shoot. Like, these guys could shoot. We had Paul Pierce, who, in my opinion, is like the most deceptive athlete there exists, because you look at him, you think he's uncoordinated, and then he'll cross you over and dunk on you, and then he'll pull up. But it was still being overshadowed. And then now you see like a KD, because they was talking about the big men in Europe and what they could do, but then you got KD coming over. And at that time, he was just Kevin Durant, and you seeing this kid like, man, this is a center grabbing 15 rebounds, and then he pulling up 30, but, he dropping 30 on your head, but he shot 5 threes. He done hit 5 threes. And you're like, okay, the league is not ready for something like this. And I wasn't surprised with, what he's doing in the NBA. Like, he's my favorite player in the league. And then I say another player was Steph Curry. Josh and I, we was always fans of Steph Curry. We liked him at Davidson. He changed the game. He changed the emphasis on the three-point line. We had Reggie Miller. I mean, yes, we had Ray Allen, but he just took it to a whole nother level. And what I liked about him was Davidson was a small school compared to, all the other big dogs. And I knew he was ready when they went to the tournament. They played Kansas. I think they got blew out by Kansas, but I was like, this is the only one who could play on that level. And so I knew he was going to be successful in the NBA. Now, 2-time MVP, unanimous MVP in 2016. I mean, 3-time NBA champion. Nah, I'll be lying if I said I predicted all of that.
Like
I
top
thought he would
15
win
player.
like 20 points per game average, 6 All-Star appearances. You know, I didn't think he was ever going to win a championship, but you know, he was something else. And like Josh said, we got to give it to the women. We can't forget women. Maya Moore, she did her thing. Diana Taurasi, that was like, you know, Diana Taurasi, like, let somebody else win. You know, Candace Parker was dominating, and someone that was overlooked, I remember her because she's from South Florida, Sylvia Fowles, so she's still playing in the league. And she, you know, she was winning championships at I believe Miami Edison High School, and she's still dominating in the WNBA right now. But yeah, those are the best, you know, players. KD is like the best college player that I've seen play. You know, we not taking anything away from like Kareem, who just dominated. You know, Bill Walton.
I just didn't see him.
I just didn't see them play. That's it. This is what I saw.
I just didn't see them play.
I got you.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I mean, tonight was a great night. You know, I'm glad we had this discussion, and we want to just continue to offer this to the many students in the Bahamas. We're looking to continue to have this podcast. We're going to try to have it a couple times a month if possible, but we'd like to just open this floor where we can get some of the top hoopers in the Bahamas, men and women, top athletes in general, on a high school level, to just join us sometimes, sit up on this podcast and to share some of their thoughts and answer some of our questions. And we want to open the floor to coaches as well. So we're looking to continue this, you know, for the foreseeable future, because with the Bahamas Scouting Report, we're looking to get as much exposure as possible. So if you all continue to communicate with us and we communicate with you, we'll be able to help get you out there where you won't have to leave the island to get that exposure. You can continue to hoop and help your community and bring attention to your community if we all just work together. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us. We look forward to continuing this on, but everyone take care, enjoy your weekend, and we'll talk some more about college preparation for international students looking to be student athletes in the U.S. What's that sign? What you got on that sign?
What's that say? What that say?
That's like Lakers, man.
Lakers. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, he's gonna be hurt. We'll see. He's gonna be hurt. All right, guys.
All right.